Hi, this is Tiff Shuttlesworth, president of Northpoint Bible College and Seminary. The other day, a man stopped by my office here in outside of Bangor, Maine, and he brought me this old Zionian yearbook from the year of 1952. That man's name is Gerard Valley. I believe he is in his early 90s. He also attended Zion, but I suppose at old age he dropped it by thinking I might have better use for it than him. 1952, the year of this Zionian, is actually the year that my parents graduated. And as I flipped through and began to read the letter from Sister Gibson to the senior students, I also came across some pictures of my parents before they were married that I thought I would show you. This first picture is a picture of my father, Alan Shuttlesworth. He had only been saved for a matter of weeks when he attended Zion and was called by God. And this is his senior picture. It's interesting to see his aim, evangelistic and pastoral, which really was my father's ministry. His whole life, he was both evangelist and pastor, and has been with the Lord for almost 10 years. The next picture is of my mother. At that time, her name was Carleen Crawford, and she and my dad met. They were both graduates of the class of 1952. They both were attending there when the founder of the school, Christine Gibson, was still teaching and alive and pastoring Zion Gospel Temple, but that's my mother from Holton, Maine. This next picture really just kind of actually made my eyes a little misty. You can see at the table down in the right side of that picture is my mom and dad at a meal. It looks like probably the evening meal, and they're in the dining hall at Zion Gospel Temple. That would have been located at 846 Broadway, East Providence, Rhode Island. And I don't know how long they had been dating there, but this is pre-marriage. A very touching picture from me as a son. The next picture is my dad laying on his bed studying, whether for exams or preaching, I'm not sure. I don't know who his roommate is, but that's a picture of my dad as a young man studying. And then this last picture is a picture of my dad preaching at the Zion Gospel Temple in the lower level at that time, I believe, at Sinclair Hall. They had not yet dedicated the new Zion Gospel Temple that was built and dedicated, I believe, in that year. But it reminds me that all of these years later, we're still doing the same thing. We've had several name changes through the years. I think there have been 5 or 6 name changes. Many people remember historically Zion Bible Institute, which became later Zion Bible College with accreditation. The original name of the school was the School of the Prophets, founded by Christine Gibson almost 100 years ago. It seems surreal to me at this stage of life that God has allowed me the privilege in the 4th quarter of my life to serve as the president of this sacred vision, a responsibility and a sacred responsibility that I take very seriously. But I want to convey to you that in 100 years, we are still doing today what our original founder had a vision from God to do, to raise up a holy army of Pentecostal young men and young women to teach them the Bible, to put the fire of the Great Commission in their spirit, and to release them to the ends of the earth to reach unreached people before the soon coming of Christ. Much has happened in recent days. I have now officially served as president of Northpoint Bible College for a year. The first week in April was my anniversary of 1 year, and God has been so faithful in helping us. I also want to say a heartfelt thank you to you. It is through this vision video that I have been producing week after week that God is actually starting to get a fresh bridge between alumni as well as new friends and family of this precious vision that we're believing God to flourish in the days to come. Just recently, we did a review after a year, and over 300 new donors people who have never given to Northpoint Bible College that we have any record of. Over 300 new donors in the first year of our leadership that have come alongside this vision to rescue it from the crippling effects of a pandemic that has resulted in 28 colleges and universities in the state of Massachusetts, where we're located, 28 colleges and universities that have had to shut their doors because of these restrictions and these mandates. But God continues to keep his hand upon the school. Things are beginning to turn. Our enrollment has trended up. We're believing God to fill our classrooms. There is much work to be done, but I want to state to you today, if you have not already subscribed to Northpoint's YouTube channel, this is my #1 way of communicating with you each week through a vision video like today. Will you please subscribe and share, especially if you know of graduates or friends of the school from whatever era they came from that would like to have access to these communications. Will you continue to pray? Though there has been much progress in this first year, there is much, much more that we are relying upon God to help us with. These summer months that are coming up, we're in the month of April. Graduation is in the beginning of May, and May, June, July, and August. Those 4 months are critical months when it comes to the finances and the support of the school. And I am asking you, if you have not already partnered with Northpoint Bible College and this sacred vision going on 100 years old, we need your help in these next 4 months. Rally with us, help us as we are getting this campus ready. Some exciting news that I'll be sharing in a vision video probably next week that is just transpiring as I speak. The ink on the contract is actually dry, and I will be making a major announcement in the days ahead. But God is moving forward. It's always God's will for his people to move forward. Thank you from the bottom of my heart on behalf of Judy, myself, our faculty, staff, and especially our students. We just concluded our campus experience, which the students had asked if I would preach. I was a little nervous about that. We had the worst winter storm of the entire season, and many felt like we should cancel the campus experience, but I trusted pastors and youth pastors and those that were driving to use their own wisdom, but we still had 109 registered visitors, students that came to be a part of our campus experience and walk-ins, which is the largest campus experience in probably 5 or more years. And during those services, as we preached on the call of God and reaching the lost while there's yet time, many students at the altars felt God speak to their hearts and have already signed up to be joining us in this coming fall class of 1924, our 100th year. So excited about that. Pray for us. We're believing God to help us raise money so that we can assist our students and provide scholarships. Whatever you can do. Our challenge, our entry challenge, would you pray about being a partner at $84 a month? That's $1,000 a year, and many of you could help us in that area. It would be so helpful to us as we continue to try to keep the tuition down. Our founder believed no student deemed to be called by God should be ever turned away because of financial inability. The only way, and I've not raised tuition, I've not raised any of the rates. We're actually handing out more scholarships than we have ever handed out through our ministry, Lost Lamb Association. Our partners have helped us. We've given away hundreds of thousands of dollars in scholarships over the last several years. Our goal is continue to help our students move towards a path of graduating and entering into ministry debt-free. I need your help as we recover and move to a point of flourishing. It's necessary that godly people who understand ministry and the preparation that the school provides be a part of that. You will never regret sowing into the lives of future ministers of the gospel and missionaries and apostolic gifts that are going to the ends of the earth and proclaiming the gospel of Jesus Christ. Northpoint.edu is on the screen. Will you go there even now and write us a note, send us an email, communicate with us, tuck in a generous gift. If I have individuals, businessmen, businesswomen that may be listening, will you please pray about providing an annual scholarship or monthly generous support to help us move our students to graduation debt-free and entering ministry with no obligation. We must prepare a wonderful army in these last days in which we live. Northpoint, 100 years later, just as it did for my mother and father, just as it did for me and all my brothers, just as it did for my son and daughter and their spouses, we continue on that vision until the coming of the Lord. Thank you for being a part, and we'll see you next week.